Welcome to the July 11th meeting of the Glendale Commission on the Status of Women. May we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Burns.
Present.
Commissioner Danielian.
Present.
Commissioner Garsavanian.
Present.
Commissioner Miller.
Present.
Vice Chair Tostian. And Chair Devine.
Here. Next item.
The agenda for July 11, 2011 meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside of City Hall on or before July 8, 2011. And 2 is introductions and presentations. 2A is educational empowerment, Glendale Community College.
Chair Devine, members of the Commission, I'd like to invite Meg Chilgavorkin, part of the Student Outreach Services staff from Glendale Community College, to talk to the Commission and our viewing audience about some educational opportunities that we have here locally in the city of Glendale for the women watching at home.
Thank you.
Welcome, Meg. Thank you.
Hi.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the college. We are one of 109 community colleges in the state of California. There are about 2.9 million students in the entire community college system, making it the biggest higher educational system in the world. And we have an approximate enrollment of 42,000 students. And just to take note, we have 57% female, 43% male. So it's obvious that more females are pursuing an education. And we're here to fulfill that need and provide different programs for these students to partake in educational courses. Some of the academic programs I want to highlight include the Jumpstart program, which is actually a program we house in Student Outreach Services. I'm a staff member with Student Outreach Services, and the Jumpstart program is a concurrent enrollment program which allows high school students to take college classes and to get a little bit of a taste of what college is like before they actually attend. Moreover, they have the opportunity to technically work on their bachelor's degree, take some college-level courses, and complete courses towards their bachelor's degree. And they get the opportunity to use that whether they choose to come to Glendale Community College or transfer to a university. We also have many opportunities where students can come work towards a certificate, and the certificates can take anywhere from a year to 2 years, and students can go right out, after receiving a certificate, can go right out there and start working. We also have associate degree programs. We see many students who complete a certificate go back into an associate degree program, and it could take anywhere from 2 to 3.5 years. It really depends on the major, the discipline. We also have a lot of transfer programs where high school students, members of the community, adults coming back to school, there really are no restrictions. They come into the college, take general education courses, complete those courses, and they can transfer to many, many universities, including universities outside of the state, out of the country. We also have amazing programs in continuing education and lifelong learning. The brochure that you receive, all Glendale residents receive in the mail, which is actually in the packet, states all the community service education programs we have. These are all classes provided for the community for a small fee. I myself have taken several classes from this brochure. Very fun, great way to learn something new. And we have a lot of lifelong learning classes, which later in the presentation I'll show a few of those. Certificate programs, some of them I wanted to highlight are stated up here: computer support technology, fire technology, electronics, child development, web graphics, ceramics, foreign languages, business administration, aviation. Some of these programs are traditionally male-dominated programs or male-dominated careers. Some of them are female-dominated careers. You will see some more in the later presentations. But you'll be surprised when you walk into any of these classes, you will see both male and female students. We also have associate degree programs in several of these disciplines, including nursing, culinary arts, real estate. So there's really a large spectrum of classes that we offer and programs we offer. And our transfer programs, many different transfer transfer programs are offered at Glendale Community College. We have a few of them listed, anywhere from biology to deaf studies, English, film studies, pre-med, pre-law. We have a lot of pre-professional students who come through the college and will come back later, and we sometimes have publications for them, which you will see in one of these. I'm pretty sure we have a few individuals highlighted in our high school connections piece. Our lifelong learning classes I was talking about earlier, we have classes offered in contemporary world issues, quality of life, diet and nutrition for seniors, intro to painting, film criticism, art history, and the list goes on, really. I have a packet included inside the packet. I have a list of all the courses included, and they're just amazing classes. Reading the descriptions, anyone would want to take these classes. And I've included the phone number because I know a lot of our viewers would be interested in calling and finding more information about these courses when they're offered. And these courses are absolutely free. There's no fee. No materials fee, no class fees. Even with some classes you have that are painting classes, there are no fees involved. Okay? And once again, our Student Outreach Service Office at Glendale Community College is really, truly an information center. We have housed many, many programs that help students truly achieve their best. We also have a partnership with Camp Rosie, and they're actually going to be with us tomorrow. We have a wonderful program for them, and we, for the past several years, we've had them here at the college, and it's an amazing experience. The students, some of them do come back to the college, take courses as Jumpstart students. Others will come back and go through the transfer program or complete a certificate. So it's truly a wonderful group of girls, and we're happy to work with them. We also have a lot of mentorship programs in our office, where high school students coming into the college will be mentored by students who have been there for a while. And we also have a program called Shadow Day, where high school students come to the campus on a tour and get to spend an entire day with a college student. These are high school students coming into the college, and it's really amazing. A lot of these students don't have a point of reference. They don't know anyone in their family who's gone to college, especially a lot of the young ladies. They don't have anyone who's gone to college. They don't have a point of reference to look back and say, my sister went to college, or my parents went to college. So it's really nice for them to have someone they can tie this college experience with, and they can come back and say, well, this person I met at Glendale College who mentored me for the day went to college, and they told me how I can do it too, and I can do it. So it becomes a possibility. It becomes a lot more tangible for them to go to college. And we just have some great services. Our office also serves as an information center for students that come into the campus, and we're more than happy to help all the students that walk through. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us by email, or phone. Okay, any questions?
Thank you, Meg. Any questions from fellow commissioners? Commissioner Donnellan is one of your former students. Would you like to add anything to her presentation?
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, but I think you covered every aspect of Glendale Community College. I thought it was, because I went there for 2 years after high school, so it was a good transition for me to go to college, but to a four-year university. But I could say everything she said is true. It's really remarkable what GCC does. It provides for the community, and I think it has wonderful programs besides for someone like me who's just transitioning. It has amazing programs for people who are exiting the workforce and coming back in to see if they like something new. And I've just met so many different people, so I have nothing but good things to say about GCC.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
Any others? Any other comments, questions?
I do. I actually started at GCC too, and I'd like to add that they've got phenomenal evening classes that people who are working and women who are working can take advantage of. And also, it's one of the top 3 community colleges for the UC systems to transfer into. So.
Yes, we do have stellar transfer rates to many of the different universities, and students do look for that when they come to Glendale College. Thank you.
Anyone else? I just wanted to again, the number to contact the college, especially for the women that are watching for the, what did you call them, lifelong classes?
Lifelong learning? Yes.
Lifelong learning is 818-240-1000, extension 5027. And there are such interesting classes there. Contemporary world issues. I think that quality of life. You know, we have a lot of people, citizens that come into the city council and talk about quality of life and those types of issues, and so I think that might be a really interesting class. Philosophy for everyday living, I'm not going to read them all, but another interesting one I think is discovering yourself through memoir writing. And I think a lot of seniors that are out there now should maybe think about taking a class like this, because I think it's really important to put their lives down on paper so that their families will have it for all time. So just really good classes. Appreciate you coming. I know Dr. Lindsay does a great job at Glendale Community College, and it's a great facility. And thank you for always providing a fabulous program for our Rosie girls. Thank you.
No problem. It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Meg. Next item, please.
3 is oral comment, and discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Time is limited to an amount to be set by the chair. The commission may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or discussion. Staff may refer the matter to the proper department for investigation and report.
I have no cards, so we will move on to the next item.
4 is consent items. 4A is approval of the minutes of the regular commission meeting held on June 13th, 2011.
Are there any corrections or additions or changes to the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve? Second?
I second.
And I think we have consensus. So next item, please.
Okay, 5 is business agenda. 5A is action items. A1 is selection of commission officers. 1A is motion to select chair for the term of July 2011 to July 2012. And 1B is motion to select vice chair for the term of July 2011 to July 2012.
Ms. Baboumian, do you have a report for us?
Sure. Chair Devine, members of the Commission, at this time, staff respectfully recommends that the Commission on the Status of Women select a chair and a vice chair for the 12-month term that would run from July 2011 through July 2012. The process that's described in the staff report that's been presented to you has been used in the past and is consistent with Robert's Rules of Order. After the agenda item has been introduced, the chair shall open the floor for nominations for the position of chair and receive nominations from the commissioners. A commissioner may be nominated by another commissioner or may nominate him or herself. The motion to nominate does not require a second. Once all the nominations have been made, the chair will close the floor to nominations, and at this point, a majority of the commissioners may request that the candidates provide a verbal statement regarding their qualifications or interest in the chair position if they so desire. So at this time, for voting, the selection of an officer is decided by a majority affirmative vote of the quorum. This requires 3 votes, and that would be the case. And this, 4 of you there, 3 votes would be required. Voting is generally conducted as a roll call vote. If there's only one candidate, each commissioner replies with either a yes or no. And if the candidate receives at least the 3 affirmative votes, the candidate will become the chair and no further votes will be taken. If the candidate does not receive at least 3 affirmative votes, nominations will reopen and the process will repeat. If there's more than one candidate nominated, when we do roll call vote, commissioners would just state the name of the person they would like to select. On selection of a chair, the meeting shall be turned over to the newly elected chair, and the first action of the newly elected chair would be to proceed by repeating the process for selection of the vice chair by opening nominations. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have a question?
Madam Chair, I'd like to suggest we postpone these selection to a later time where all of the commissioners are present.
Do I have a motion? Second to that motion? Or comments to that motion?
I'll second.
Was that a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to postpone the selection process to a later time where all commissioners are present.
Do we need discussion on?
No, but just so we're clear, that means that at the next meeting we'll bring this item forth, and if your desire is that you have a full commission at that point, if you in fact do, then you'll proceed with this matter. If you don't, then it'll trail to such time when you do have a commission of 5 members present. That's the motion?
How about just next month?
Okay. So then your motion, if I understand correctly, is that we postpone this item to the August meeting,
Correct.
and you're seconding that motion?
Yes.
Any discussion? Can we take an oral vote, please? Ms. Baboumian? Oh, Ms. Cordova, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Commissioner Burns?
Yes.
Commissioner Garsavanian?
Aye.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Vice Chair Chastrian? Chair Devine?
Yes. Next item, please.
Thank you very much.
5A2 is consideration and discussion of a series of financial literacy workshops in conjunction with State Senator Carol Liu. 5A2A is a motion providing direction regarding the series of financial literacy workshops.
May we have a report, Ms. Baboumian?
Chair Devine, members of the Commission, at the last meeting of the Commission, staff presented a report regarding a sponsorship request from State Senator Carol Liu, who represents the 21st District. In that report, the Commission was provided with information regarding a change in the direction of Senator Liu's programming for the community to address the needs of those most at risk, called the Pathways Program. At the last meeting, the Commission requested additional information regarding the sponsorship request before taking action, and a report with this information will be presented to the Commission at the August meeting, as staff from Senator Liu's office can be present at that time. It was their request to hold this till our August meeting. So the sponsorship request that we discussed at the last month's meeting will be presented in August. Just wanted to explain all of this before I go into the report so there's no confusion. The report that's being presented to the Commission at this time is a separate request. It falls under the Pathway Program in the sense that these are the mini events that Senator Liu was talking about doing. So what's being proposed here is a series of financial literacy events that falls under the umbrella of Pathways. And as far as tying into the sponsorship request, that we can take next month when that report is presented. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions once I'm done with my report. So as mentioned, Senator Liu is directing her focus to Pathways for Economic Prosperity. And Senator Liu has requested to work with the Commission to bring a series of financial literacy events to the Glendale community. These events would take place throughout the month of September as they are being proposed and would target women from a diverse range of backgrounds and education of financial literacy. There are a total of 4 events that are being proposed. The first event that's being proposed would take place on Saturday, September 10th at Junior Achievement of Southern California. It's located just outside of Glendale on Forest Lawn Drive in Los Angeles. And this is a 3-hour basic level workshop that would be for women who really don't have a good grasp of any sort of budgeting or any sort of financial literacy background. And we would also work with community groups here who work with women from low-income families to help recruit them and bring them to this event. So this is a 3-hour basic level workshop. It would talk about money, budgeting, and Junior Achievement has told us at the time that this report was written, they're going through a staff transitionary period, and we were originally quoted $10, and that recently changed to $15 per person. Their budgeting, their real cost is $50 per person, and they try to subsidize through their funding that they get as much as possible the cost per person to deliver a financial literacy workshop, which they would be doing. They would be presenting the materials and a majority of the volunteers. There's a minimum of 50 participants that would be required to attend. That would set the cost of having this particular event to at least $750. At this time, funding to cover the cost of the workshop has not been covered. It's proposed that the Commission, should they choose to, can sponsor this portion of the financial literacy series, should they desire. The logistical planning for this event that we're working with Senator Liu's office, should we do this event, would involve securing volunteers, transportation, food, and child care, and those are things that Senator Liu's office is willing to take on. In addition to this one event, it is also proposed to have a series of 3 workshops that would take place in Glendale that would be once a week for the following 3 weeks in the evening time, and that would be open to the women who attend the workshop at Junior Achievement and women who have a better understanding of financial literacy who just want some higher level information. The topics would include cash and risk management, along with investment, tax, and estate planning. And the workshops would be taught by professional volunteers referred by Senator Liu and the Commission. And Senator Liu's office is working to secure sponsorships for costs that might be associated with these 3 workshops, such as workbooks and materials. This concludes my report. At this time, staff respectfully recommends that the Commission provide direction regarding the proposed series of events. And as mentioned, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you. This concludes my report.
Okay. Comments, questions from fellow commissioners? Done? Okay. So we have the first money matters for low-income women, and actually for any women. This whole series is designed so that anyone can take the classes in order or out of order, or take just 1 or 2 or how many they want. So what we're asking then is an amount that would cover the tuition for the participants in the Junior Achievement program, the one night. Well, we were hoping to get 50, but we're not sure that we can catch that many in our net. So what we have to do is kind of guarantee Ms. Baboumian at least an amount of $750 or slightly more to cover the tuition and perhaps some other unforeseen costs that we might accrue. So is that what we need a motion then to provide you with, let's say $750 not to exceed $1,000, an amount of $750 not to exceed $1,000 for the Junior Achievement registration fees?
Yes, Chair Devine, members of the Commission, staff would like direction from the Commission approving the overall event, and in addition, yes, if we can either make it a separate motion or work into the motion a cost associated should the Commission choose to support those costs.
Okay, so first then we need to have a vote by the Commission, a motion and a second, and a vote on whether we want to participate in the Money Matters program with Senator Liu. Do I have a motion?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to participate with Senator Liu with the Money Matters Financial Literacy Program.
Second? I cannot second.
I'll second.
And do you want a roll call, please, Ms. Cordova?
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Danelian, Commissioner Garcevanian,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Vice Chair Tostian, Chair Devine.
Yes. Now I need a motion to provide a minimum of $750 and a cap or amount not to exceed $1,000 for the Junior Achievement registration for Money Matters. Do I have a motion?
Chair Devine, if I may, will there be any discussion on this? Should I have
Yes,
the
if you'd
discussion
like to
before, or
discuss.
should I
Yes.
make the motion?
Please, discuss.
When you talked about capturing the junior achievers, where are they coming?
They're coming, actually today at the Domestic Violence Task Force meeting, YWCA was there, Door of Hope was there, Path Achieve was there, and they're all going to bring or try to register participants. So we're looking for low income from those groups. Any woman in this community that wants to take this class and get the opportunity to go to Junior Achievement can register for this program, for this particular night.
And
So it's open to the whole city.
that's great. And we think that we would have difficulty getting 50 people?
Well, we don't know. We're thinking conservatively, and we're hoping for 50, but we can't predict.
Chair Devine, members of the Commission, as staff, I have yet to run a financial literacy workshop. I'm not exactly sure how many participants we would get. It would definitely be open to the public. We would encourage women to register. We would like them to register beforehand, and definitely work with our local nonprofits to get as many women through the door. The minimum was set by Junior Achievement. They don't usually work on Saturdays, and so for them to bring their staff on a Saturday and bring their volunteers, they would really like to see, they even said, from 40 to 50, but we would need to provide funding for 50 participants in order for them to be able to cover their costs and make it a successful event for them.
And I think what else we have to add is, because the senator's office is involved, these flyers and this information is going to go out to her entire district. So that's going to also cast a wide net. So we might get 150, we don't know.
Chair Devine.
Yes.
Is this the first time that Senator Carol Liu is holding this conference or these mini events?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So
That's because this year her focus is on pathways and educating women financial literacy, and so this is one of the ways that she's doing this. She will be holding these little events all over her district. And this commission said, when we were asked, would we be interested, and we responded that we thought that was something that we would, since we've done them before. When Senator Jack Scott was in office, we had every year a Money Matters program for women. We called it Money Matters, didn't we?
I believe it was called Money Matters, Chair Devine.
And so then when he retired, then we kind of lost the program, and now with Senator Carol Liu refocusing, instead of doing health issues, she's now doing pathways. We're fortunate that we can bring it back. Unfortunately, this time Senator Scott isn't there to pay the bill, but we have to come up with some support for the program.
And is there like an age requirement for it?
No, there's no age requirement. Is there, Ms. Babumian, that I know of?
Chair Devine, members of the Commission, I believe it's open to any adult. Junior Achievement itself is a facility that does specifically cater to children and to teens, and we use Junior Achievement's curriculum for Camp Rosie. That's where the financial literacy curriculum comes from. But in conversations that we've had with Junior Achievement, in fact, Kimberly Blum, who was formerly with Junior Achievement, had said that they do hold events for adults, and they would love to work with the Commission to bring women in and educate them about financial literacy.
I think as an explanation, for those of you that aren't familiar with Junior Achievement and their program, it's by Forest Lawn, and it is a huge building that they have set up with a circular format. And when the students go in, whether it's adults or teens, they each get a scenario. Like, you may be a mother of 2 children, single, and with an income of $2,200 a month. Commissioner Burns might be a retired woman with an income of $30,000 a year, but yet she's a month. No, this is a scenario. It's not real life. But you may be taking care of 6 grandchildren because your daughter's not there. So everybody gets a scenario, and then you have to go through the different phases of your budget. There's a bank, there's a car dealership, there's insurance, there's a bank, there's a food store, health insurance. Glendale Community College is there if you want to register your grandkids in a program. And they go through each step and budget every item, and at the end of the day, they have to meet their budget. So that's kind of what this is all about. So anybody can take this class. It's good for, young girls, young women, all ages.
Thank you for that explanation, Chair Devine. That was very helpful. We are, and further, my understanding is we're limited to making sure we fund 50, but we certainly could get more than 50.
Right, and that's why we're asking for a cap, so that in case we do get more, we'll have a little extra, 50 times 15.
Yes,
Yeah.
Chair Devine, if we get, I can't do the math right now, but
Right.
if you do set a cap for an amount not to exceed 1,000, it would be 15 times the number of participants that would get us to 1,000. I can get my
Right.
calculator out right now. The
Or-
cap does not have to be set. That's
Right.
just 50 participants would give us $750. It's just if the commission wants to create a safety net financially so that you don't obligate yourselves to an amount more than you're comfortable with, that's fine. We can always ask we can have a meeting with Senator Liu's office to see if she can take some of the trickle if we do set it at a cap, and if we do get to a point where we have additional participants that would result in the fee being more than $1,000.
At $15 a person, if we have 50, it would be $750. We can also make a motion that we can just provide the scholarships or the financial aid to as many participants as we get. They can't. How many can Junior Achievement provide for in one day? Do you have any idea?
The facility is
Yes.
big. I believe they can take up to 100. I would imagine with that facility. The concern becomes getting enough volunteers. They like to keep a ratio of about 6 participants to 1 volunteer. They have a pool of volunteers that they can draw from, and the commission can also
Right.
do
We may
outreach,
find
and
ourselves
Senator Liu's
volunteering,
office can do
yes.
outreach. So I don't believe that we have a max number that we have to worry about as far as participants, so much as volunteers.
Well, perhaps we can make a max in the participants instead of the money. We can do that. We can say a maximum of $50, 50 people, 50 participants.
And
We can do that in the motion. Go ahead.
it would come out to 66 participants. No.
For $1,000?
$1,000.
900. 900.
It's about 66 participants.
Has a date been set, Ms. Babumian?
We've held a date. We wanted to make sure there was an available date before bringing this to the commission to make sure it's a
September 10th.
possibility. September 10th
It's in the notes.
is a date that's available for Junior Achievement. And that it's early enough in the month that it precedes the 3 workshops, so that should there be women who want to take advantage of additional information, we can present it to them right then and there and say, here are 3 more events that you can come to learn more, should they want to do that. So September 10th, we have penciled it in.
I'm comfortable at this point making a motion regarding an amount of money versus participants, only thinking that since the date is in the fall, that allows us, when we have 50 people, we can come back in August and decide if we do want to fund more people or not, or if we're able to based on our own budget. But at this point, I'm comfortable making a motion. So
For the $1,000?
for the 750, I make a motion for that we go ahead and fund $750, not to exceed $1,000 towards the Junior Achievement.
Do I have a second? Commissioner Garsavanian seconded.
Thank you.
We get a vote, roll call, please.
Okay. Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
Commissioner Garsavanian,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Vice Chair Tastian, Chair Devine.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Staff will provide an update at the next meeting on this item.
Okay, Next item, please.
5B is reports, information only. 5B1 is commission on the status of women's 2011 master calendar of events.
Okay, do we have any additions or corrections in the calendar, or do we accept it as presented? Note and file? I hear no changes, so we'll note and file the calendar. Thank you.
6 is commissioner and staff comments.
Okay, let's start with Commissioner Donnelly. Do you have any comments this month?
Sure. First, I'd like to commend GYA for what they do. I know we all attended the luncheon, and I honestly could say it's amazing what the work they do and how much they help students and volunteers and the youth. So I thank you for all you've done. And I also like to thank them for recognizing us and working with us on Rosie Goes to Wall Street. And Christine, thank you for working on that too. But I also, because I've been hearing a lot about programs such as Rosie Goes to Wall Street and then this Carol Lou's programs, and I just want to encourage women and parents to get their kids into these programs. I mean, we're putting it out there, and then I hear women telling me, like, oh, where are these programs and stuff, and I think it's just, we should utilize these programs. So anybody who's watching out there, please spread the word and just get people involved in these programs. They're good.
Thank you. Commissioner Burns?
Couldn't have said it better.
Commissioner Garsavanian?
Since I missed the last meeting, I would just like to welcome our 2 new commissioners. I look forward to working with you, and good luck.
Commissioner Miller?
Thank you, Chair Devine. I have a few comments. First off, I just wanted to identify that this Friday, July 15th, is the Women in Business Legislative Luncheon. And I believe it's 19 women in our local communities in the districts of Senator Carol Lou and Assemblymember Portantino and Assemblymember Gatto will be recognized. So that's taking place at the Castaways, and certainly you can contact them if you're interested. Also, I wanted to just identify that on June 30th, once again, the Glendale Pops, we are so lucky in this community to live in an area with such a rich culture. And the Glendale Pops took place at the Americana, and Patty Austin was the singer, and it was truly just a wonderful evening. And once again, I know that Chair Devine was there, and Commissioner Burns, as well as Mayor Friedman and myself, and it was really just a good time was had by all. So I continue to look forward to that season. I understand you can certainly look up the information from the Alex about their future concerts. I believe there's one on September 22nd. I also wanted to thank Glendale Community College for coming to speak here tonight. I actually won't tell you how many years ago I took my prerequisites there prior to going to occupational therapy school. But hands down, it was probably one of the best. I took the life sciences. It was an anatomy class, and it was in the summer before I went to college, and it was one of the best instructors I think I've ever had. Recently, I signed up for, I will tell you this, recently I signed up to take Armenian classes, the language, and I learned 3 words that I can pronounce, I believe, quite well. And there weren't enough people that signed up. And so I was unable to do that. So I encourage all my friends who realize that we live in this rich city of Glendale with a very lovely and rich culture of Armenian to sign up with me so that I can take the class and learn more than 3 words. Or else I'm going to Pasadena to take it. My 3 words?
Yeah, what were the 3 words?
On the spot. Ishvesek and Shadshoka and Shadlove.
And you know Mercy.
Well, I am actually of Mexican descent. I know I don't look it, so I do speak some Spanish. And I should say I understand it a lot more, since I'm sure my father's watching. That being said, I want to just thank you, and I want to encourage you to help me find more people so I can take that class. Yeah, it really means a lot to our patients in the hospital when you can speak to them in their language. And then that being said, I would like to just close with July 25th, inviting the community to attend the Live Well Luncheon that is taking place at Glendale Adventist. It is for the 55 plus. And if you want to find out more about membership and these free luncheons, and come and hear Dr. Teresa Suida speak on longevity and wellness, by all means, please call 818-409-8091. And again, that's 818-409-8091. That's July 25th. It takes place at noon. It's a free luncheon, and the topic is longevity and wellness. And I'll be there. And I hope you all will too. Thank you. Thank you, Chair Devine.
Staff comments?
Yes. I just would like to note that staff is still taking applications for Session 2 of Camp Rosie. We have a few more spots, and I'd be willing to go over my set limit. So we'd be more than happy to take them. Session begins Monday, July 25th. They can call 818-548-4844 for more information. And Chair Devine, members of the Commission, I would also like to give you a very brief update regarding the California Commission on the Status of Women. As many have heard, in signing the new state budget at the end of June, the governor exercised his line item veto authority to eliminate the California Commission on the Status of Women later this fiscal year. Governor Brown used his line item veto power to cut a total of $270 million in spending. Most of it was from railway projects, but he also did reduce money for state commissions on higher education, along with the Commission on the Status of Women, and eliminated funding for a data system to track teacher performance, and some of it was also for trimming court spending. So essentially what happened was the line item was reduced from about $465,000 to $265,000. So it was reduced by $200,000. And Governor Brown stated in his budget that he's reducing this to help bring ongoing expenditures in line with existing resources. He said that given the constrained state resources, this reduction reflects the need for government to focus on its core functions. And he went on to say that while the statutory goals of the Commission are worthy, he continues to believe there are other formal and informal venues for policy development and advocacy that do not require general fund expenditures. In response to the state budget that was passed, the California Commission on the Status of Women said that by cutting almost half of the Commission's budget, the Commission will only be able to function for part of the current fiscal year, and they will continue to fulfill the work of the Commission as long as their funding permits. So they're still continuing to operate at this time. It is important to note that the cuts made to the California Commission on the Status of Women have no impact on the Glendale Commission on the Status of Women, thankfully, as the Glendale Commission does not receive state funding to operate. It is a self-sustaining entity. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was too bad, but it is a very expensive commission because they were doing a lot of heavy-duty work. One comment I can make is that I was always disappointed that they were not more involved in the ACCW, the state commissions, and but I hope they can keep going for a little while longer. One of the perks, I guess, if you want to call it a perk, of being on a commission like this is being asked by the mayor to represent her in some facet of the community. And we were all asked to attend the Refugee Forum of Los Angeles County, and I did attend, and was honored to present awards at the luncheon and to present a commendation to the organization from the mayor. This is a group of organizations, including our own ARS, Armenian Relief Society here in Glendale, that helps refugees coming from other countries who are under duress from conflict or natural disasters, political oppression. There was one refugee from Uganda who had come here about 14 years ago. He is now a productive citizen, and I mentioned citizen. He did get his citizenship, and a lovely young woman from Sarajevo who escaped the war, and she is also now a citizen and a productive member of our society. So it was a pleasure to meet all of the people involved in these services, which help assimilate people from other countries, refugees who have lost everything and come to this country and have to learn the language, get a job, find housing, etc. And they do this. So I thank the mayor for that opportunity. I also want to thank the Glendale Youth Alliance for this is our award for as a friend of youth, and that is for our Camp Rosie program. And fortunately, they were able to raise enough money that they can take on 100 youth in our community to do the jobs that Commissioner Donnellian was talking about. And so it was great news that it was successful, and Glendale Youth Alliance will continue for the summer. I attended our Camp Rosie class on Thursday, I believe it was, where there were approximately 27 girls there. Most amazingly, one was from Palmdale, one was from, two were from Chicago, and a few from Auburn, up near Sacramento. And I asked them, how did you ever end up here in our Camp Rosie program? And one had, a couple of them, their grandmother found out about the program and they were coming here to visit, so she said, you're getting into this program. The two from Chicago were also visiting, and someone in the family saw it in the newspaper, I think it was. And anyway, they were hearing it from all over and coming from everywhere. I'm here with my sister, and my sister used to work at the city, and so she knows of the program and wanted me to be enrolled. And so they were all there, but there were 27 fabulous girls. And Yasmin Seha from,
Break the Cycle.
Break the Cycle came in and spoke to them about teen dating violence, and they were absolutely in awe of everything she was saying. They all moved their chairs to become involved, and it was fabulous. So I echo what Commissioner, help me here. Marie Donnellian, yes, thank you. I'm drawing a blank. Please, if you have a granddaughter, a niece, a daughter, a cousin, any relation, a friend of a friend, send them to this program. Sign up. It is absolutely amazing. They love Nelson Neo in the self-defense and Melina Sardar in the life skills, so it's just going to get better, so please. It's free. There is no charge, and it's down at the Pacific Community Center, and it's wonderful. So that's my comment on Camp Rosie. Today at the Domestic Violence Task Force, I was fortunate enough to meet Michelle Roberts. She's the new director of the YWCA, and I want to wish her luck, and hopefully we will be collaborators and partners in a lot of projects in her coming tenure. Finally, I want to wish Joyce Rudolph from the News Press a congratulations upon her retirement. She's been a friend to this commission. She's been a friend to every organization in this community that needed newspaper, that they needed to have some publicity or write-up. She was always there, and the one thing about Joyce is she got it right. She put in the right facts, the right information, and she was so helpful. And the funny thing is, she said that she wants to be a volunteer in her retirement, and I think that's a wonderful thing to be, because that's what we all are. Well, not all of us, a couple of us are. And it's great to give back to the community, and I just want to thank her for everything that she's done for all of us here in this community, and to wish her well. With that, do I have a motion for adjournment? And this meeting is adjourned at 6:24.